Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. Be taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go. Hey, it's the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Boxing or boxing. Man, Erickson Lubin just beat Terrell Guasha, and he becomes Jermell Charlo's mandatory for the WBC title. And we all know the history between Jermell Charlo and Erickson Lubin. It was a fight where it ended very quickly. Erickson Lubin was caught slipping early, and that was lights out. Now, he wasn't out cold, but he was moving and squirming, but he couldn't get up. He couldn't get up. Now, Erickson Lubin just beat Terrell Guasha for this title eliminator, and Terrell Guasha is a phenomenal fighter, man. He only actually lost to all southpaws. Now, he lost to Erickson Lubin, tied it against Austin Trout, and then he got a loss for Erickson Lubin. Now, this fight was a really good fight between Terrell Guasha and Erickson Lubin. It was a fight where Guasha had his moments, and he actually wobbled Erickson Lubin in the fight. It was in the late second half of the fight. I believe it was the 8th or 9th round. Guasha wobbled Erickson Lubin with a straight right, and it had him shook. Unfortunately, Guasha didn't know how to put his punches together because he was only trying to throw power punches, and he didn't really try to set anything up. And basically, Lubin weathered the storm. And Lubin came back later in the fight in round 12 and wobbled Guasha, and he had him in a corner. Now, this is a really back-and-forth fight, man. A lot of people, you would think this fight was, since it was a unanimous decision, it was pretty one-sided, you would think. But if you actually watch the fight, man, Guasha was doing a lot of things really well. The only problem with Guasha in all his fights is the guy just doesn't throw enough punches. When he fights these southpaws, he's really particular in his punches, which is cool and all. But when you're fighting stars like Austin, no doubt, Trout, Erickson Lubin, and Erickson Lubin, and you're fighting these southpaws, you need to let your hands go more often. And I don't mean all power punches. I mean just let your hands go, period. Erickson Lubin was controlling the fight with his jab. He was moving around the ring. But every time Terrell Guasha got some in, I mean, you could feel the power in his punches. He definitely didn't come for a check. He came to win the fight. This fight was a really good fight. It was a spirited fight. But it showed that Erickson Lubin and Terrell Guasha have chins because they both got wobbled in this fight, but they both pulled through and they managed to fight it out to a decision. Like I said earlier, they say this is a unanimous decision. I thought the fight was much closer than what they said it was, and yeah, man. But this fight was a really big fight. Erickson Lubin is definitely going to want that revenge for Jermell Charlo, and the kid shows he has a chin. He just has a chin. And while Jermell Charlo hits hard, the shot he hit Erickson Lubin with was more of a counterpunch than a clean he just hit him out of nowhere and he got stopped. Erickson Lubin was coming in, and I believe he was trying to pivot. And as soon as he came in, he basically walked into a Jermell Charlo uppercut, and that was the end for Erickson Lubin. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out with Erickson Lubin and Jermell Charlo, though. They're both young. There's a lot of pride. There's a lot of testosterone going on. There's a lot of alpha, beta stuff going on about who's the best. And, out of both the Charlo brothers, Jermell Charlo definitely is a hype one for sure. So we're going to see how this whole thing plays out with Jermell Charlo and Erickson Lubin. There's a lot of backstory between it. Erickson Lubin has had a lot to overcome to become this WBC mandatory, or at least the top spot in the WBC. He's fought a lot of fighters. And now he's fighting Guasha, who's an elite level fighter. Like I said, only had one loss to Erickson Lubin and draw it against Austin Trout. So I'm really excited to see that he pulled through Erickson Lubin because he's a young guy. The guy is extremely young, and he's one of the youngest fighters definitely in the sport of boxing at the 154 division. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. Erickson Lubin, like I said earlier, he's only 24 years old. But when he first fought Jermell Charlo, he was really, really young. Really young, right? That was 3 years ago. So when he first fought him, he was 21 years old. So that you got to put everything in perspective, right? Young guy, maybe too much, too young. And, I think he learned from that. Let me know how you guys feel about it, though, man. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.